What if everything you were taught about studying is wrong? Not a little wrong, completely, fundamentally wrong. This student right here studied for 6 hours every night. Highlighted every page. Reread chapters 3 times. And still failed the exam. Sound familiar? Then one day they discovered a study method used in Japan for over a century, a method built not on how much you study, but on how your brain actually stores information. They used it for 30 days. And they never forgot what they learned again. This is that method. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why it works, and exactly how to use it starting tonight. Here's the problem. The way most people study, reading, highlighting, rereading, feels productive. Your eyes move across the page. You feel like information is going in. But your brain doesn't store things by seeing them. It stores things by retrieving them. In 1885, German psychologist Hermann Ebbinghaus proved something that should have changed education forever. Without active reinforcement, we forget 70% of new information within 24 hours. And almost all of it within a week. Rereading tricks your brain into thinking you know something, because the words look familiar. But familiarity is not memory. Recognition is not recall. And this distinction is everything. The method is rooted in a Japanese philosophy called Kaizen. In Japanese, Kai means change. Zen means good. Together, continuous improvement through small, consistent steps. Japanese students and professionals have applied this principle to learning for generations, and modern neuroscience has since confirmed exactly why it works so well. The Kaizen approach to studying has 4 pillars: chunk it small, test yourself actively, space your repetition, and build in layers. It sounds simple. It is simple. But simple is not the same as easy, and the reason most people won't do it is the same reason most people never master anything. Stay with me, because I'm going to show you exactly how each piece works. Pillar 1, Chunking. The Japanese education system has long understood something Western schools consistently ignore: the brain cannot process large amounts of novel information at once. When you sit down with 40 pages to learn, your brain doesn't absorb all 40. It floods, freezes, and stores almost nothing. Chunking means breaking what you need to learn into the smallest possible meaningful units. Not chapter by chapter, concept by concept. Word by word if necessary. One idea at a time. Fully understood, fully absorbed, before moving to the next. This feels slow. It is actually the fastest path, because each thing you chunk and understand becomes a hook that the next thing can attach to. Learning is architecture. And you can't build a wall until you've laid one solid brick. Pillar 2, Active Recall. This is the single most scientifically validated study technique in cognitive psychology, and the most consistently ignored by students who instead choose the comfortable illusion of rereading. Active recall means closing the book and trying to retrieve information from memory. A flashcard. A blank page. A practice question. The act of struggling to remember, even when you get it wrong, especially when you get it wrong, physically strengthens the neural pathway that holds that memory. Every retrieval makes the trace deeper. Neuroscientists call this the testing effect. Japanese students call it the foundation of serious study. Your brain is like a muscle, the retrieval is the exercise. Rereading is just watching other people work out. Here is where this method becomes almost unfair. Spaced repetition. The principle is this: your brain doesn't consolidate memory through intensity, it consolidates it through time and spacing. Reviewing something once and then again the next day builds almost no long-term trace. But reviewing something on day 1, then day 3, then day 7, then day 14, that pattern of increasing gaps triggers the brain to classify the information as important and worth keeping long-term. It feels like you're studying less. You are studying less. But the spacing tricks your brain's memory system into treating each review as, this must matter, it keeps coming up. Japanese educational philosophy has embodied this for generations. Modern apps like Anki now automate it. The students using it are learning in half the time with twice the retention. And almost nobody in a traditional classroom knows it exists. The fourth pillar is inspired by Nobel Prize-winning physicist Richard Feynman, whose techniques Japanese educators have long independently mirrored in their own practice of Oshiru Kodo wa Manabu Kodo, which means, to teach is to learn. The technique, once you've chunked, recalled, and spaced a concept, try to explain it in the simplest possible language. Imagine explaining it to a 10-year-old. If you can, you've truly learned it. If you stumble, you've just identified the exact gap in your understanding. No highlighter on earth can do that for you. Feynman used to say, the first sign of real understanding is simplicity. Complexity is often just confusion wearing a suit. Here's how you use all four pillars together in one session, and this is the part 1 want you to screenshot or write down. Your Kaizen study session is exactly 20 minutes. Minute 1 to 4. Review your previous cards using spaced repetition. Minute 5 to 12, learn one new concept, broken into its smallest chunk. Minute 13 to 16, close everything and write down everything you remember on a blank page. Active recall. Minute 17 to 18, open your notes, find what you missed, add it to your review stack. Minute 19 to 20, schedule your next review. Set the spacing. That's it. 20 minutes. Done. Do this once a day, every day, for 30 days, and you will remember more from those 20 minutes than most students remember from a full semester of traditional study. Japan consistently ranks among the top nations in educational achievement, precision craftsmanship, and professional mastery, across wildly different fields. Robotics, classical music, architecture, culinary arts, martial arts. And the common thread isn't raw intelligence. It isn't longer hours. The average Japanese student doesn't study more than students in other countries. They study differently. The Kaizen philosophy, small, deliberate, spaced, self-tested improvement, is embedded in how they approach skill building from childhood. It's in the tea ceremony. It's in judo. It's in how a Japanese chef practices knife technique for years before touching a full dish. Mastery is not an event. It is a daily practice. Small, consistent, compounding. Here is what nobody tells you about this method, and it's the reason most people quit before they experience it. For the first 2 to 3 weeks, it feels like nothing is happening. You do your 20 minutes. You review your cards. You write your recall. And you think, this isn't working. This is the plateau. And it is the single most important moment in your learning journey, because the compound effect of spaced repetition doesn't show up linearly. It loads in the background. Quietly. Day after day. And then somewhere around week 4, something shifts. Things you learned in week 1 come back instantly. New material connects to old material automatically. The retrieval becomes effortless. That's not magic. That's neuroscience. That's what compounded daily practice looks like from the inside. Let's make this real. Tonight, not tomorrow, not Monday, not after the next exam, tonight, open a blank page. Write one topic you are currently trying to learn. Spend 8 minutes writing down everything you already know about it from memory. No notes, no books. Just what's in your head. Then open your notes and find the gaps, the things you thought you knew but didn't. Those gaps are your first flashcards. Write each gap on a separate card, question on the front, answer on the back. Set a reminder for 3 days from now to review them. That's day 1 of your Kaizen study practice. It will take you 20 minutes. And it will be the most effective 20 minutes of studying you have ever done, because for the first time, you are working with your brain instead of against it. The student who failed, the one we started with, they didn't become smarter. They didn't study more hours. They didn't find a secret shortcut. They simply stopped fighting their brain and started working with it. Chunk by chunk. Card by card. Gap by gap. Day by day. And that's available to you right now. Tonight. Whatever you're trying to learn, a language, a subject, a skill, a qualification, the Japanese approach to mastery is the same as it's always been. Small, deliberate, consistent, and patient. One good day of studying doesn't build a learner. 1,000 small sessions do. If this changed how you think about learning, share it with someone who's still studying the hard way. And subscribe, because next time, we're going even deeper into the techniques the best learners in the world use every single day. See you there.